Radio. Shout it.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Of course, you know it's your folk, Beehive Radio shouting. Hey, man, I got a friend to the show, a friend to the family, my big homie in this thing, DJ Trendsetter Sense of the Aphilliates Academy and all of that good stuff. What's good with it, Sense?
Beehive Radio shouty. First off, man, I'm so proud of you because you know how far back when we first had these conversations about everything that needed to be done.
Yeah.
And look what you're doing now, man. I mean, like, you know, when I wake up in the morning, I click on the Breakfast Club. I click on, you know, certain podcasts, and then I gotta click on Beehive ATL, man.
Well, first of all, since like I say in every damn interview that I do about me, they say, nigga, what was it that made you start doing this? And I have to tell the same story every time. I say it was a guy named DJ Sense.
That's real.
And we were having a conversation at the radio station. And Sense said, man, what is it that you want to do, nigga? I said, nigga, I'm trying to be big. Nigga, I'm trying to be big. And Sense said, well, this is what you need to do. You need to start doing interviews. I said, interviews? I said, hey, man, my show comes on at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I don't really see the reason for that. He said, nigga, I don't give a damn about no 2 a.m. in the morning. You better start doing that shit.
Right.
And he gave me 2 other pieces of jewelry that I don't share with people, but I keep to myself because I only use one of those pieces.
Okay.
But that one piece was enough to get me to where I'm at right now.
Wow.
So imagine if I would have used all 3 of the pieces that you told me.
Wow.
I would probably be world domination. Okay.
Well, I mean, you on your way anyway.
But enough about me.
Okay. You funny.
It's about you.
Okay.
Since take me back to CAU, you touching down in Atlanta and understanding that it's a culture that you needed to get a part of and crank up in, man.
You know, my mom really, she went to Clark.
Oh.
My mom went to Clark.
Yeah.
And then she was just, I was fucking up in school, you know, the typical high school shit. But then my senior year, I kind of like got a little more mature and got my shit together a little bit, good enough to where I did get accepted to colleges, and like one of the first colleges to accept me was Clark. And my mom was real hype on that. I wanted to go to Howard, Hampton, and Morgan State were my first 3 choices.
What?
Clark wasn't one of my first 3 choices, but Clark was one of the first schools that accepted me, and I was confused. I'm like, damn, how I get into Clark? Because my grades in my 11th grade year weren't good. I was a knucklehead in 11th grade. So my mom was real hyped that I got accepted to Clark. And she was just like, I really want you to go to Atlanta. She was just Atlanta. And my mom is like my best friend. Like, we real tight. Like, you know, I could talk to her about anything.
Yeah.
And then she was so adamant about it. I said, I really got to take this into consideration. So we did a little trip. I went and visited Virginia State. And then we kept driving. We drove to Virginia and we kept driving to Georgia. We drove from Philly down
nigga.
to Atlanta. And the week we came down, guess what was going on? Freaknik.
What did your mama say when y'all touched down in the middle of Freaknik?
We drove in the middle of Freaknik.
Oh, my God.
So, you know, my parents were kind of like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, damn, this shit popping. Like, it ain't even no choice.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I didn't even have to think hard.
That's crazy as hell.
Yeah, it was Freaknik when I came down. Went and visited campus. I love the way the campus, the strip and all that was looking. And the admissions officer, he was in Philly. I went to college fair in Philly. And he said, you apply, you come down, I'm gonna accept you. I got you. And I came down, he set it up. I came down, visited him. He showed us around the Clark. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And then the rest is history.
When you touched down at Clark, man, and you started meeting people, you met a couple of other folks while you were there, man.
Yeah.
And y'all kind of formed up like Voltron and started fucking shit up in these streets.
Yep.
Can you speak on that?
So my best friend came down with me, and he helped me move in the Brawley Hall. And then I kind of knew Drum, who he was a little bit, just because I was a DJ and he was a DJ, just on some high school local shit in Philly. And then I was like, oh, that's DJ Drama right there. I mean, I knew he was going to Clark because I knew some of the same people he knew that went to his high school.
Okay.
And I knew he was a DJ. And I was like, oh, that's the dude, DJ Drama right there. So we stayed in the same dorm. Somebody must have told him that it was another DJ that lived on the 3rd floor. He lived in 215, and he was hype about that because Philadelphia's area code is 215.
Oh, that's
so he was like, I'm in 215. Like, he was hype. So, and I stayed in 323. So somebody must have told him, 'cause I was on the 3rd floor. Yeah. Somebody must have told him that there's another DJ on the 3rd floor. So he comes and knocks on my door, just And he was like, yo, you DJ? I'm like, yeah. And I already had set my turntables up. So then he just jumps on the turntables and like starts battling me. That's how we met. He battled me.
What?
And then my best friend looked at me like, you really gonna let him come in your dorm and show you up like that? So then I battled him back, and he saw that I wasn't on no bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
And he looked, and then that's how it kind of started. And then we started like, you know, he would do campus events, I would do campus events. And it's funny because the first time I was like, yo, we need to do stuff together. And Drum was like, nah, I'm solo. I never told nobody that. I was like, damn, all right. So then what eventually happened though was we ended up doing some kind of party together. I think it was at Ware or Bumstead. We did some kind of party together where I don't know how it happened, and we killed it. And we had a really good chemistry, you know what I mean? Because John was real good with like reggae and classics and stuff. He like that was his style, and I was like the party club flashy. So we put all those elements in one party, and it was a crazy ass party.
Damn.
Yeah. So we ended up kind of like helping each other out, like, you know what I mean? And we started, and then people would start. Anytime I had a gig, I always called him. I was, you know what I mean? Because I knew he would bring elements that would complete the party. So it didn't bother me to like, you know, share the party with him. He started doing the same thing on his side. Yeah. And we just started doing parties together, and they started grouping us together. We was like a little 1-2 team. Yeah. And then I was more like the party rocker, and he was kind of into like the mixtapes and the underground, and that's kind of how that whole thing came. And then a year later, Don Cannon came to school. But we didn't really get cool with Don till like our senior year. But really, we was already damn near out of Clark. Yeah. And then Buchanan was making his beats and stuff. And then one time he slipped Drum a beat CD. And then this is when me and Drum had a little apartment together. We had a little duplex together on Glen Iris. That's where the world famous duplex where T.I. came through, Bone Crusher, Monica came through, Ludacris came through, all these people. And we fresh out of school. Yeah, Lil Jon, a lot of people came through and was just doing the mixtapes and stuff with us. David Banner, Killer Mike, I could just keep going. Yeah. And so when we was staying at that crib, no, this was before we got that crib. I remember Drum was living like in Buckhead or something, and he was like, yo, this nigga Don. His name was Donnie Brasco back then. He went by Donnie Brasco. He went by Donnie Brasco. And he was like, man, this nigga beats. It's crazy. So he just would play his beats. Yeah. And then his beats were really, really good for somebody that was like 19, 20 years old. He was like, damn, this nigga beats is fire. Like when I heard his beats, I knew he was going to excel on a professional level. Like, you know, you used to hearing somebody young
fucking around.
Yeah, and it's just like, all right, that's what's up. But when you heard his shit, you was like, this nigga gonna pop. You know what I'm saying? So we heard his beats, and then that took a liking from him with Cannon, and then he really started supporting what Cannon was doing. So Drum would sell mixtapes and stuff on campus and stuff, and he made sure that he would sell some Donnie Brasco tapes too. And Donnie Brasco made like this tape called After Party. So that's kind of how that formed. And then like me and Drum was already graduated, so we was already trying to figure it out. I started interning at the radio station. And Drum was selling mixtapes like on campus and at Georgia State and Spelman and stuff like that. And that's when when we was doing that, and then that's how it kind of formed. And then once Don was kind of had his tapes and stuff, he would always come over to the crib. And then Cannon drops out of school, and then next thing you know, he's sleeping on my couch. He like, yo, I dropped out. I'm like, nigga, you in your senior year. The fuck you drop out for? We already out of school. We already just trying to figure it out. So Don on my futon, I didn't even realize, Don's so funny, I didn't even realize he was homeless because it didn't seem like he was really there. I just noticed he was always sleeping on my futon at night. But then he be gone all day. Yeah. And then next thing you know, later on, he just be on the futon. He was like, yo, I lived on your couch. I didn't even realize it. We were so young, you didn't realize it because I was going DJing, interning. Exactly. We was doing our thing, and he was on the couch. And then we indirectly kind of became the Aphilliates. But that stemmed when we was I was a super friend. Yeah. So DJ Mars and DJ Trauma brought me in as a super friend, and they brought me in on their radio show at the time that they had called the Emergency Room. Yes, and that's how my first time on air. Hell no. Well, actually, my first time was for Cersei and Ramona DeBro on them the little afternoon. Yeah. But then, like, to be on a show, Trauma called me and was like, yo, I want you to do my show with me on Sunday nights. And that's how I, like, was consistently on the air like that. And then at the same time, they asked me to be in the Super Friends crew. So then when we did that, I was like the Lil Jon cat that was doing all the parties and all that stuff. And that's how I kind of linked up with all the promoters and stuff in the city. And then I told them to bring in Drum. Drum came in, he was doing his thing. And then Drum was like, yo, they wanted to bring in some new people. He's like, yo, let's bring in Cannon. And then we kind of had our own crew within the crew. And then we eventually kind of formed off and created the Aphilliates.
What was that like when y'all, departed from the Super Friends and crunk up the Aphilliates? And did y'all feel like the Aphilliates was about to fuck shit all the way up in these streets? Or was it, just something that y'all was just gonna give a shot?
I definitely felt confident about it. I knew it. I told them, I said, yo, we're gonna get our own radio show. We're gonna play what we want. We're gonna end up getting a record label. We're gonna end up doing everything that we desired. We're gonna have the hottest mixtapes. We're gonna do all of that. I told them that. I still got the sheet of the blueprint. I told them, I don't know what that they called me the visionary or whatever. I don't know. But I used to tell them, I told them we was gonna do it. It's like I spoke it. You know what I mean? And those things ended up happening.